So let's start with Eli Lilly, a company that we haven't covered in a while. So what's Eli Lilly's future as a trillion-dollar pharma company? Could Eli Lilly become the first pharmaceutical company to reach $1 trillion market cap? And what role do weight loss drugs play in the potential valuation?
Um, Lilly is one of my favorite companies of all time. Stock is currently at 960, which is incredible for a pharma company. Rashad, I can hear your sentiment now. Have we gotten to a peak that's too high and it needs to come down? At some point, yes, but with the weight loss market being so hot and then being one of the leaders in it, hopefully they'll split at some point, because if they crack above 1,000, I think it would be too pricey for the average investor. But I do see it breaking above 1,000 and then starting to retrace. But I do think in the pharma space, Buffett did it last week with Berkshire to have a valuation of $1 trillion. I think Eli Lilly will be on its way very soon. But with a few companies having this valuation, it's very interesting to see, because 10 years ago, this wouldn't have happened so easily. I think we have an over concentration in a few companies. And at some point, we're going to have a conversation about when the economy is going to correct and level the playing field. I don't know if we'll do it tonight, but in that pharma space, Lilly would be the first to do so. But we've seen Nvidia pull it back. They missed earnings. We'll talk about that later. But do I think they'll hit the trillion? Yes. Are they overdue for a pullback? Yes, because I don't know how long they can continue to just knock these earnings out of the park as well and have blockbuster drug after drug. But it's definitely one of my favorite companies in the health space by far.
I think the answer is yes on the first question. Do they hit $1 trillion? I think so. As far as when you talk about pharmaceutical companies and those that are groundbreaking and creating new drugs that are just, they're phenomenons at this point, right? Like when we're talking about Ozempic, we think weight loss, but Mounjaro, I mean, obviously we know that was for diabetes. What they've come back with is Zepbound and Wegovy. And not only are they treating weight loss, but you're seeing other health symptoms having effects, whether it's heart disease, right? If you treat obesity, other diseases will obviously, or health care concerns will decrease as well. Heart attacks, heart disease, cardiovascular disease. And now I just saw a report that Wegovy has lessened the death toll from people who have COVID.
Yeah, I saw that. That was an interesting study.
Like, what?
Yeah, I don't know what the correlation is, but shout out to the investor relations team for putting that together.
Right. So you're starting to see it. I don't want to put the title, but it feels like this is this miracle drug at this point. The interesting part is that I think there's still growth. When you talk about these drugs, they're still injected. When the pill form comes, you're going to see an uptick. They're not here
if
yet.
They are able to pull that off.
Right. So that from an optimistic standpoint, if they haven't created the pill form yet, which will obviously have more mass production, we'll have more pharmaceutical companies, we'll have more prescriptions. That'll be an uptick. So the $1 trillion mark is within reach now. I think it's over, the valuation's like 890, maybe 895. So it's there. You add into these things. Obviously, we know the country with the most health concerns when it comes to obesity is the United States. I mean, there's a clear path to a $1 trillion valuation. How long they stay there, we'll see. But I think that the pharmaceutical component, the weight loss component, definitely is going to attribute to it, and you can see the path very clear.
Yeah, and if they make headway in the Alzheimer's space with that drug, I mean, talk about dynasty. I mean, think about it, in 2020, they're at 148. I think when we started the show, 130 or 148. Now they're almost at $1,000. Like, some attributes of the company that I do love. You don't hear anything about the founder. You don't hear too much about the current CEO or board. They've never signed anybody breast at a convention. They just do the work. Shout out to Jensen, but I'm like, that's when things start to go a little bit awry and Blackwell and get delivered. Amazing company. Shout out to everybody in Indianapolis who may be working at the monopoly, but they are going to outperform the market for a long period of time for sure. One of my favorites in Stock Club for sure.
Yeah, and that pill process, it takes a while, right? So that's not something that's going to happen right away. It may take 6 months, may take 12 months, but you can see that that's definitely the road that's just going. Rather than people injecting themselves once a week or daily, if people could just take a pill, it would simplify it. So
The entire Bronx is gonna look like Ice Spice if they get that pill form going, yo.
yeah, I don't know a gym. Is you dumb?
I said, girl, you got some allegations to address too, boy. We're gonna talk about it on Blackout, but
shout out to the Bronx.
Hell of a turnaround in 2 months, though.
What?
You never worked out before?
You never heard of a treadmill before? What?
I said, wow, okay. But yeah. And then crazy part, Lilly has no major competitors. Johnson & Johnson, no. Pfizer, no. Moderna lost their lure. In that pharma space, they are hefe. So
yeah. Who's number? Would you say Novo's number 2?
Yeah. Novo for sure.
Okay.
Yeah. And those are a good 2 to put into a portfolio if you want to make your own pharma index. I know the ills and evils of pharma companies, but if we're just talking pure gains, those 2, that's like having Jordan and LeBron on one team, man. It's hard to lose with them 2. Hard to lose. So, Rashad, what you think? Do you think the market has gotten too high on Lilly and it needs a pullback? Because I do love when you like the voice of reason. We did this a couple years ago with tech and then a pullback. Do you think pharma has gone up or Lilly has gone up too much over a 4-year period?
Yeah, for sure. I think you definitely don't want to start investing in companies at the all-time high. And pharmaceutical companies traditionally have been ripe for lawsuits, like $1 billion, $100 billion lawsuits. So, at some point in time, I think that it would be reasonable to anticipate a tremendous lawsuit hitting Eli Lilly. There's going to be side effects for these weight loss drugs that people don't even know about yet.
Mm-hmm.
And people are using them. They say Mace was on Ozempic.
He did look different, right?
Who knows? But
if it made that freestyle fire, boy, hey, fire up another round.
Shout out to Mace. I'm just saying, but that's the thing. So what I mean by that is that it's become so part of culture now that they just using that like Advil.
If you lose weight, that's a problem.
So with that many people using it, I think that they probably will have some mishaps that people have not calculated yet. So that's something that definitely could affect the price of the stock and the overall valuation of the company. But yeah, I mean, overall, healthcare industry is still the biggest business in America. So you can't go against that.
But look, it was 90 in 2016 to be at 900. That's man.
Yeah,
that is insane to think about. Like they've outperformed majority of tech stocks. That's interesting.
yeah. I know Berkshire was the first non-tech stock to hit $1 trillion. They're right there. They're right there. They'll be the next. Yeah, they'll be the next.
Yeah.